Hey, my friend. Oh, hang on. Stupid earbuds. There we go. I can't hear you, Bubba. Come on. Let me see. Wait, say something?
Hello.
I can hear you now.
All right.
Takes them a minute.
So, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing all right this morning. Just got done doing a live, you know, for my morning mojo. You know, what me and Jin Jin do every morning.
How's she holding up?
She's holding up pretty well now. She's getting through the stages of grief, man. Definitely getting through the stages.
She's lucky to have you.
I try to be a good boyfriend. Almost said husband.
What just came out your mouth? Wow. That's a Freudian slip.
I am a lonely individual. And to be fair, that's all I've ever actually wanted is just a family in my own land.
I know how you feel. Honestly, I just came from walking my dog, and just as I'm about to go inside, I see a woman holding her baby, like right outside my building, and all I can think is, that's not mine. That's not my kid.
Yeah.
Where is my kid? And this is the thing that my lawyer just can't get me the value of. Sure, you can get me my disability benefits, but it's not the same exact thing as teaching your kid how to walk, teaching your kid its first words. I injured
Mm-hmm.
myself and I couldn't even say to my 5-year-old, can you press the Uber Eats app to bring me some soup? Like, could you do that for your father? Could you do that for me? Because I have no one to ask. I can talk to my dog. If I could teach my dog how to order Uber Eats, number one, that would be really strange because that's a lot of times talking to a dog. But also, if I could make it happen, that would actually be the only substitute I have for having children of my own.
Yeah. You see, that's why I have my Shuck. That's my substitute. That's my little boy. Although he's tearing up a football right now. And I
Aww.
do mean shredding it. It's everywhere. It's all over my floor.
Same with my dog. I give her her favorite toys, and all she does is just rip them to shreds. And then at a
that
certain point, I have to take the toy because I'm like, you can't really swallow all the parts. Oh,
yeah,
oh well.
and Shuckle loves he'll eat coconuts if it's a ball or if it's something like a ball, he's all over it, and he will eat it. Ah,
So a bit of an update. I know I injured myself yesterday early in the morning, tripping over a fucking television like an idiot. But I switched to a cane for like 2 to 3 hours. And honestly, I let myself be myself. And I didn't have to like really wait too long. It's healing. It's healing. Finally.
nice, nice.
So, two things I got out of that. Number one, when I told you yesterday I needed to reteach myself how to walk, I had to do that dreaded thing that every veteran has to admit. Marching is actually a better way to walk because you actually
Yeah,
pick up your damn feet instead of shuffling it like you have no pride, like you're some dejected loser. It's like pick up your damn feet, march.
Oh
And so
yeah.
I did,
Every
and I feel better now.
every time I go out to walk, because I walk at least 2 miles a day. Every time I go out to walk, I pick my feet up because I walk through the grass instead of walking on the road whenever I'm walking down the street. And the reason being is because it's just more comfortable on my feet. I do have tumors in my feet, but you also got to worry about snakes. And with all this rain that's going on, you got to worry about water moccasins. And shuffling your feet is a bad idea because you'll kick one of them big SOBs because he won't hear you coming, and you're going to get tagged. So you got to be careful about those guys. There ain't nothing wrong with a little old water moccasin.
People talk about snakes and those kind of indigenous things. Why not just let nature be nature sometimes? If you go into its territory, you're on its turf, its land. You're a guest.
Yeah,
So yeah, you do have to watch where you step. I mean, you would want the same courtesy if it was a human. So yeah,
yeah.
show
I
a
mean,
little respect, and you won't get bit sometimes.
yeah. That's the main thing. You don't get tagged. Because getting bit by a water moccasin is rather painful. Not only that, but they're a hemotoxin, so they rot you. So it's just, I don't want anything to do with that venom. Not a bit. You can keep it all to yourself. I'm good. Go on, little buddy. Save it for rats and fish. Leave me be.
Okay, I have to address Greg Nelson, who jumped in at the end of the conversation and didn't really get the context of what I was saying. Number one, I was being self-deprecating and I was calling myself a loser for not remembering that I learned how to march being a veteran. And the reason why I injured myself was because I wasn't picking up my own damn feet and marching. Because it does seem a little strange to be in an apartment by yourself and you're marching and doing facing movements and everything. But then again, I injured myself because I wasn't doing that. So I was
Otherwise, you just
calling
stomped on.
myself. Yeah, if I had stomped on the television, it would have been kind of funny, but I wouldn't have hurt myself quite as bad. Like I cut myself pretty deep to the bone, pretty much, but it healed. Like all the swelling went down, everything, and I have to attribute it to number one, remembering that I can march if I really need to, and I really should do it more often, and two, I'm eating real food. We keep having this conversation on this channel, and I want to try and reach as many people as possible. By the way, hello, Spiker. What the hell is going on here? I talk a lot about how to save American veterans. Change.org/save American heroes. That's the whole point of this chat, because veterans should be paid the amount of money that they are worth so that they can learn more about their health, invest in their own education. In lieu of that, while I'm waiting for as many signatures as I would like to get for it, I'm going to talk about how to be a better veteran. Okay? So, on to my subject of I, I'm eating food. I really took the time this month to focus on what is food and what isn't food.
Yeah.
Hi, Linda.
I give me just a minute, man. I've got to run to the restroom.
Please do. And by the way, hello everyone. My name is XIlyana. My guest Clint, who has rushed off to take a slash, is a wonderful podcaster. If you like Clint, you can find a link to his channel in my description. Good morning. How are you doing? I am well. Glad to hear that you're well. Glad to see you. Have a good day. Blessings. Thank you, Linda. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been a rough couple of days, Linda, since I maybe last spoke to you. I've had like 2 or 3 inspections, and Yeah, I'm still dealing with my PTSD. So everything is a bit of a chore. Well, I'm trying to make the best of it. I'm trying to engage more with people and just learn to be myself.
Okay, so what did I miss?
Oh, nothing much. I'm just introducing you to the channel and they're doing a small recap. If somebody's trying to
All right. My dog. What, baby boy? What, baby boy? What you want, my chef? Sorry. I gotta love on him every now and then. Would you chill out? Go play. Go play. I didn't say play with me. Ow. What is your deal, Hyper?
so much love.
You're just so hyper.
Absolutely.
All right, all right.
I love my dog. I love my dog, but my dog has moments. If she can rest, she will rest. Your dog is all about, I need to let you know that you are loved. I want a dog like that. My dog does. I will protect you. I will look out for you. But bitch, gotta take a nap.
I need my
You're good on your own right now.
I got you there, man. No, my chef's just a little wild. Hang on, he's probably wanting food. But yeah, speaking of eating real food, last night we actually had a pretty good meal.
Really? What did you have?
Uh, um, from really Amish, but kind of like Amish down here in Texas. Mennonite. Oh, little girl, you are in so much trouble. Oh boy. My dad's dog tore up some of my money. Oh, looks like they owe me $60. All right, here you go, Chuck. But yeah, we had homemade cheese. It was homegrown free-range chicken. It was homemade noodles. Everything was from scratch, which makes for a much better meal. Much more filling.
Oh, that's good to hear. I'm really beginning to think that as a culture, we need to consider food as the top priority.
Yeah, we need to consider food. We need to consider shelter and water over above everything else. Food, shelter, and water. Because if you have those things, guys, then you can pursue your happiness. You know, you can look for your Eden. That's all you need to do. But you need that food, you need that water, and you need that shelter. You know, if you don't have those, you're kind of in a tight spot. So yeah, definitely a problem. And that's a big problem facing a lot of Americans, a lot of people all around the world, is homelessness. That's why I have my Amethyst chapter of the Knights of the Holy Rose. They go towards helping out the homeless and the bullied. So that's what we work on that part. But bullying and homelessness are a big issue all over America. Mostly homelessness. Bullying is a problem, but a lot of people, if they just stood up to their bullies and got a good slug in on them, they quit. I've noticed that throughout my whole life. You get a good solid punch in on a bully and he quits.
I've taken martial arts for most of my life. I continue to train in martial arts. I practice my sword fighting by myself. And as much as I try to hone my skills, the most important skill is to recognize that your life has value and that sometimes you need to be aware of the situation you place yourself in. When I was
Yeah.
when I was assaulted for being transgender, being punch kicked and called a faggot, I knew that I was fighting someone, but I was also fighting alone in a neighborhood which doesn't respect people like me.
Yeah,
Because
that
when
could
I
be
was
very
being
good.
punched and kicked and called a faggot, no one called the police. No one would even look at me. It wasn't
Yeah.
like this was a 6 foot tall guy. This was like a 4 foot, drug addict, but nobody wanted to get involved.
Yeah, I got you. When I went to Walmart the other day, I seen a
I
but when I went to Walmart the other day, I seen a young lady that was harassing an old man. Like, and I do mean harassing him. She kept walking behind him. Oh my God, you're so slow. Get out of the way. Oh my God, you need to move. Just go to the home already. I walked up behind her. I tapped her on the shoulder. I looked at her. I said, "You're the rudest, absolutely most disrespectful little harlot I've ever seen in my life." She looked at me and goes, "How dare you call me a whore?" I said, "Well, you got 5 kids. How many of them have the same dad?"
What's
I
she
said,
say?
"They ain't trophies, girl. That ain't proof that you can blow away." You know, and she just sat there and went, "What?" Her eyes got big. I was like, "Yeah. How many of them kids got the same daddy? How many dudes you sitting there screwing right now?" Because his whole problem is he's got a slow cart because he's sitting in one of them little, drivable things. They're slow. I
And
said,
she
"You
did
got
that.
a whole."
She did that. Wow, what a rude person.
I said, "You got a whole aisle to go around his ass in. You should go around it and stop bitching at it. That is the rudest damn shit I've ever heard in my life. And quite frankly, you deserve to get your ass beat." And she just, after a little bit, she's like, "Oh my God, he's threatening to beat me. He's threatening to beat me." I said, "No." I said, "You deserve to get your ass beat. There's a difference. If I threatened you, I'd have hit you." And the cop literally looked at her and goes, "No, he worded it just right."
Huh?
So
Point
eat
to
my
clip.
shorts and go away, you disrespectful little cunt.
Wow, wow. What is it? What is this
Sorry.
world? No, no, no. Like, what is this world that we live in where young people don't respect the elderly at all?
Exactly.
Like, where did we go wrong as a society where everyone hates old people and treats them with the most disrespect possible? These are people who have lived a life. These are people who have contributed to society in many ways. Some of them are veterans. Some of them are previous doctors, lawyers, whatever. They've lived a life that provided something for you in some way. They kept the country going for you. Treat them with respect. Treat every person who is older with respect.
Not only that, but with great respect, with great age comes great wisdom. And great wisdom deserves great respect. You know, these people have had, this old man was literally sitting there wearing a hat said Vietnam vet.
That's
And I'm sitting here going, can't you read the damn hat? It says Vietnam on the back of the tag only. I mean, you're staring at holes in the back of his head. The last you could have seen was the words Vietnam and been like, maybe I should shut my mouth. Yeah, because she should have. But no, instead she wanted to ramble on and talk about how slow he was, how he needed to move, how he was in her way. And I'm just sitting there going, you know what? Shut up. This is
Did the
what I
front
like
of
to
his head
call, oh, yeah,
did the
just,
front did the front of his head say this old man he played one?
no. Instead, it showed the battleship that he was on.
Ah,
He was Navy.
knick-knack on my thumb.
Well, I don't know. They do say that a popular phrase in the Navy is 160 men go onto a ship, 80 couples come off.
I joined the wrong fucking branch. Okay, I was in the middle of the Air Force, and I don't know what is going on with the Air Force, but they had like a Wiccan meeting in the middle of the Air Force, and I went to it, and I spoke to the leader of them, and I said, I feel an affinity for water. And then, like, within 5 seconds, the next time I went to my Buddhist meeting, somebody sat next to me, and his last name was Navy, and I was just like, really, like, really.
I tried to sign up for the Navy, and the funny thing was, my recruiter, her last name was Swallows. I was like, please tell me you got ranked up or you're going to get married sometime soon. Because I can only imagine Seaman Swallows report to the poop deck. Just the hell that she was going to catch.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it just.
I don't even know how to speak to Hooligan. I won't read that comment. I'll just leave it there as you're a very strange person. But I will address the other ones. Russ, Canada. Dude, wipe that crap off your mouth. Of course you get bullied. I don't have to make myself more like you in order to get you to like me. I don't care if you like me. I'm going to do me the way that I do me. This is not, I'm a transgender person going to change your mind. This is not, I'm a transgender person coming to indoctrinate your kids. This is a man or a woman with lipstick on. That's it. Okay, by the way, my lipstick is protesting the carbon monoxide poisoning of the LGBTQ and Latinos of my neighborhood. So, yeah, I'm fighting smog by putting on lipstick because every time you mention my lipstick, I get to talk about smog and pollution in my community. So, thank you for saying that. And to Matthew Berger, have you tried just acting normal? I don't have to fit in with anything, really. I'm a grown ass person. I've been through the military. I don't have to do shit to fucking please you or anybody. That's all. Now back to the rest of it. Simply attention seeking babies. Well, I'm glad you think I am young because, here I am, older than this one to my right. But, if you call me a
Yeah,
baby,
I'm the young one.
I don't mind. Talk dirty to me then. You want to call me baby, well, tell me I'm beautiful as well. Thank you.
But yeah, guys, I just like dressing in leather. There's nothing wrong with it.
Okay, I have to read INCMNG. Carbon dioxide from humans is like 0.04%. Carbon dioxide from humans isn't exactly the issue, but the practices that humans carry throughout their experience on this earth has caused carbon dioxide to be an issue. Do you know that because they fish the way they do, carbon dioxide in the ocean is actually rising?
Mm-hmm. Not only that, but
And
they're
that makes it
overfishing
toxic.
certain things.
That makes it toxic to the fish. It makes it toxic to the plants. It makes it toxic for everything because they overfish the entire area. And they don't
Oh yeah.
realize that, you can't just gobble up hundreds of fish from the ocean, raise them in a crane, and then have them sit in the refrigerator of a supermarket, and then nobody buys it because they would rather go to KFC. Nothing wrong with KFC, but whole species of fish are going extinct while they're sitting in the refrigerator because nobody buys it. So who are they fishing for? Because they fish and they sell it to the markets, and the markets don't really turn a profit. So who are you fishing for? Why can't you just let the ocean be a beautiful thing that maybe you go into and you see the fish? Sometimes you just don't eat everything, and that's okay. Just let the fish be fish.
Or let the people who want to actually eat the damn fish go catch them themselves.
You want a boat? You want a big old boat?
Yeah, I would love a boat
Mm.
actually. I would love an airboat, and I would like a big boat to be able to go out into the deep sea, so I could actually go deep sea fishing for the first time in my life. The only thing I got to do technically deep sea fishing was cage diving with a tiger shark.
What is that like?
That is amazing, dude. That is absolutely incredible. The sheer primal power you see from these things, it's overwhelming. And to be able to sit there and think, oh, I've seen them on TV before, and I've seen sharks. You ain't seen a shark till you've seen a 16-foot fucking shark. Okay. I mean, the damn thing's head's so wide, I can't fit how big it was in my screen right here. Because I'm telling you, guys, he could easily swallow my whole upper half, and well, but she was hitting the cage like crazy, shaking the entire cage. It was a lot of fun. I will never forget her. She was incredible. I call her Susie the Tiger Shark. If I ever see her again, it'd be absolutely awesome. But she had a very distinctive scar going on along her right side. But she was absolutely gorgeous. I had a lot of fun sitting there cage diving with her. I had the dude in the cage with me scared to death because I'm reaching out, grabbing her by the fins, grabbing her by the snout, trying to get her to hit the cage, and pretty much pulling the whole Discovery Channel thing. It was a lot of fun.
I think you have a fan. I'm gonna read DJ McLovin. I'm not trying to be mean, laughing my ass off. I like to be a bit of a troll. Thank you for your honesty. And then he goes off and says, "Leather Wizard Daddy." You get that so often. People just want you
I
to cast
know.
a spell, and you don't even fucking jiggle your hips or like shake your hair.
What
You don't
hair?
like rub your beard or like rub your belly. You do none of this. How are you sexualizing this? You're so sexy without even trying. Look at him. He's turned on, DJ McLovin. Leather Wizard Daddy. Leather Wizard Daddy. You've got a fan. All your fans are fans. Okay, who cares? I legitimately am a veteran of the United States of America. Why they chose to have someone of British descent join the military, who the fuck knows? But I did. And I even showed my certified VA mail. And then also, the cover of one of my songs is my disability denial letter. I actually used that as a cover for my album. So there's proof there. Plus, if you ever want to look me up, Freedom of Information letter, It's called Write One, you dumb fucking bitch. Write it, send it to the government, and let the government tell you, yeah, we hired that particular person. And why? And I'll tell you why. Because despite the fact that I'm no longer part of the military, I'm still fighting for America. I'm still fighting for America's people. So my fight didn't continue, it just transformed into something else. And I know that you don't really like to see transgender people, but to the person who said, 20 years, people like this would be in a mental institution, I'm more sane, and he is more sane doing what he does every day than you people who go to fast food restaurants, who don't go for walks, who stare at television screens as if it's going to give you free vodka. Just we live full lives doing what we do. And we actually podcast so that we can try and teach you something or teach you to at least think for yourself. So show a little respect here, or yeah, you can go. I don't have to show you fucking shit. I have already put my information out there. Do your job because you want to be freedom of the press right now. Fill out a freedom of information letter, and that is all. And for that, you can go. I don't want to talk to people like that. So yeah, just bounce.
By the way, to answer Colton Warren there, I have a job. I have my own business. I'm a blacksmith and a wood carver and a leather worker.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but right after hearing Leather Wizard Daddy and you say you're a leather worker, I was just like, you have those assless chaps I've been looking for.
I could probably make them, unfortunately.
You'd probably make more money if you did. You talking about that damn dog ate my $60? It's like, well, if you made some leather, you assless chops, you might be able to sell it to some guys in San Francisco.
Who knows? But mostly I make stuff like my armor. Because, where did I put it? Here they are. Because, I made these for my shoulder guards. It's just real simple, nothing special to them. But this is some of my work.
It's well made. It looks professional. Be very proud of that.
I am. It's saved me a few times, as you can see from some of the scratch marks on it. But that's one of my handmade things. And this is one of my smith items right here. I handsmith this in Ohio with the proper materials. I don't have the proper tools here, but to make Damascus, but I'm working on it. But I smith this in Ohio in a friend of mine's forge, and I call it Frostfang.
Nice.
I'm trying to learn how to use this and Troll's Bane at the same time. So I'm trying to practice dual wielding. It's not easy.
Usually, when you do wield, you have the same type of weapon, but that's an interesting fighting style, an axe and a sword.
Yep. Because my axe is just the right length for me to be able to use it one-handed. And that sword is just perfect to go along with it because it's just shorter than the axe. So it makes it easier to maneuver around. But I ain't showing that in the training just yet until I actually get that down. I'll stick with swinging my axe around first. Get my morning dosage ready. Oh, by the way, I gooped up.
I'm going to read Trash Can Randy because that person needs a little bit of attention. Dudes wearing makeup remind me of when I was in middle school and girls started to try to doing their own makeup. Look, I'm not considering myself an expert at putting on makeup. I'm just a person who's protesting. So every time you mention my makeup, I get to mention that carbon monoxide is poisoning the people in my neighborhood from car exhaust, smog, pollution. That car exhaust actually causes forest fires, and it ruins the lungs of young people, giving them asthma. So yeah, I get to protest. So it's not just a person wearing makeup, it's a person wearing makeup for a cause. Some people want to put on a pink ribbon to talk about breast cancer. I put on blue lipstick to talk about pollution in America. Go be a tree, you fairy. I would love to be a tree. Trees get water and sunshine and turn them into beautiful leaves. Being a tree is kind of awesome.
Not only that, you're a permanent home.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. Like, squirrels are always trying to hide their nuts in you, but.
Well, that's the part you would enjoy.
I would go, nah. Sap on that squirrel. Let me drip some sap.
Good Lord. Oh, that was not the answer I was expecting. But you
Okay,
are a permanent home to a lot of creatures.
what about pollution in China? I don't live in fucking China, okay? I live in America. America, the country that points the finger at every other country and says, no, you're polluting too much. You're too much of an oppressive country. Shame on you. But they never actually see that when you point a finger, you have 4 fingers pointing right back at you.
That's why I point like this.
Well, I mean, it's the knife hands. The
knife hand. Hang on a second, guys.
China is very hot.
Let's see.
Read your comment, and now that I've read your comment, you can come back tomorrow. Cool. Thank you. You make yourself look like a freak to protest. Sometimes that's the only way to protest. Sometimes the only way to have a conversation about an issue is to put on a costume or to put on special effects makeup. You know, I don't watch television and movies because I appreciate the art of cinematography. I appreciate the art of acting because if it wasn't for those people putting on 12 hours worth of makeup, I read a small little documentary piece on the making of Batman and Robin.
Oh yeah, that was a long
Batman and Robin
process.
with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he got like $4 million at the very least, I think. And then he had people feeding him and massaging him while he did the makeup, and he only worked for 12 hours while the rest of them had to do more hours.
Oh yeah, but it's just because of all he had to wear, you know.
But yeah,
and
that's an extensive process. And people look at a movie like that and they just say, "Oh, it's cute, it's camp, it's this, it's that." No, it's talking about corruption. It's talking about poverty. It's talking about what it
the
means
things that
to love
Batman's
someone.
always talked about, the things that Batman's always been about, the impoverished, the polluted, the ran over, the oppressed, everybody who's been pushed aside, and it's always the poor, and as far as the person who asked me to take my Mjolnir off, kiss my ass. My Mjolnir does not come off. Neither does this one. So, ha!
Well, Melody just will have to come back another day. Another day. She's bounced. I'm sorry that you had to experience that, but this is
I get it all the time.
This is what it means to be on YouTube, and when you start speaking truth about things, yeah, I could shave my head and wear a tie and a suit, but that's not who I am. This is who I am. And also, yeah, I don't mind coming off as a buffoon if you take 2 seconds to listen.
And you see, guys, I like wearing armor. I like wearing leather armor. I like wearing leather vests. It's just fun for me. I am straight. I'm not gay, which is surprising to most people. But I am straight. I just like leather. You know, that's just my thing. I like the feel of it.
I don't know if that's true, PB, that everyone in YouTube Live comes from the same stylist. If everyone was rocking blue lipstick right now because it was on trend, I would be shocked.
Yeah.
And I want to give hello to Charts and Code for coming into the channel. Ian, it's good to see you smile again. I know some days are harder than others. It's been rough. It's been rough, but luckily I have people like Clint and you and all the good decent people who come in every day to just check in and say hello and to see a veteran try to live off of very little while still trying to help people.
Oh no, Trollsbane's still here.
And
still here, man.
And never far from him.
Nope. Always have Trollsbane, man.
Ready, set, survive. Just started scrolling and landed on this chat. If you would give me a brief summary of the political consciousness of the world. Well, I can't really speak to the whole world, but I think the political consciousness has always been keep people busy, keep people chasing something instead of focusing on themselves, instead of focusing on their own community. There's a lot of distractions out there in the world. Everyone is trying to get your attention, but you have to focus. You really have to focus on what matters to you. And sometimes it means that you have to shrink your world a bit. I mean, when I turned off the television and smashed it, literally smashed it, I started focusing on, what's real, what's in front of me, what's really important. When I injured myself, I had to focus on what's real food, something that I wouldn't be able to focus on if all I was thinking was, I just need something in my mouth as I watch something really, really hot on television. Like I would watch shows and be like, I need to be orally satisfied while I watch a show, which means I'm not really even watching a show. I'm just masturbating with my mouth while I watch television. And that's what everybody does, whether or not you think about it or not. But when you eat while watching television or eat while watching a film, it's just oral masturbation. It's not as if you're really trying to digest what they're trying to tell you. I mean, the whole thing about the Infinity War and the snap that wiped out 50% of the people, people saw that and said, that's a cool little plot device. They didn't think, shit, that happens in real life too, because COVID happened right afterwards. So
pretty much.
Where is the connection? Where is the connection? This is why I had to turn off the television, because I said, I know you're trying to fucking reach out to people and say, can you just see that some of this stuff is actually real? Okay, some of it is magic in VFX, but how it's not VFX when people drop dead because someone sneezed in their face, and that happens in real life now. That's the world you live in. And
oh yeah, pretty much.
In the background, because that's a representative of my ancestor. My ancestor is always looking out for me.
And I wear the representations of my ancestors.
Hello, Seahawk, and hello to England.
So, yes, welcome in, everybody. Please like, share, subscribe to my friend here. and let's get the show really going, guys. Let's get some actual opinions up in here other than just arguments.
Well, America's mom has something to say. This is rage bait. America. Oh, sorry. Anyone saying the gov owes anything doesn't realize the money comes from their own pockets. If you can't afford to give it, stop asking the government to pay it. Fuck you. I'm going to say what I want to say. And when I say veterans deserve that money, veterans deserve that money. There is no other argument for that. You can argue whatever you want, but that's a fact. If you serve this country, you should, like Clint has always said, you should be able to go into any store and say, I'm a veteran. And 10, 20 people should jump up and say, you know what? Your meal's on us today. Your meal's on us. Why? Because we said yes to saving this country. We said yes to defending this country. We said yes to sacrificing for this country. But when we do sacrifice, our lives are diminished. Our lives are diminished. Clint is talking about, how he's looking for love. Hard to find. He's looking for, a way to have a boat. And you can't really just chop down your own trees and make your own boat. You could, but you can't really do
You
that
get in
unless it's your
trouble.
own land. You get in trouble for that. That's the country you live in. So yes, I do want more money, and I do want more money so that veterans can make better decisions in life. The decision to eat healthy, to eat as healthy as I do right now, is an expensive habit. But it's a good habit, one that I want to nurture, and I want other veterans to benefit from that because Operation Rescue, my own little mission here of trying to reach out to as many veterans as possible to get veterans to be as healthy as possible, that is an important thing to me. So, yes, I will ask for more money so that every single veteran can be healthy. He doesn't have a clue. Look at what he's doing. He's wearing what he's wearing and he's talking about distractions. Fucking ironic. I wear my lovely blue lipstick so I can talk about carbon monoxide poisoning, how every American is living in a gas chamber. And if you don't see it that way, then I think you're an idiot. And I can call you that. But that's what it is. When you walk outside, it used to be smell that fresh air, or at least smell the cow shit, because you live on a farm. But when you walk outside and you have nothing but car exhaust, that's not real air. You live in a garage and you call yourself free. Your government corralled you as poor little fuckers into little neighborhoods where you gas each other to death. So yeah, I will wear my blue lipstick every fucking single day until I get a referendum on a ballot, at least in this town, to reduce carbon emissions. And at least do EPA filters on some of these classic cars. People love to do classic cars in this neighborhood. It's a point of pride. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. How fucked up is this country that it wanted to say that it was improving markets, it was improving diplomacy with other countries by selling goods and services. But when they started selling cars to other nations, they changed that nation forever. Mexico had the potential, maybe, just maybe, of being a place for Native Americans, indigenous people to maybe have a place to live, a place to keep their culture and say, we don't live on a reservation, we live freely. But no, they gave cars. And so Mexico City, which is the highest concentration of Native American indigenous people whatsoever, but it's also a place where they have twice or three times the population in cars. So that area is fucking, it's hurting my people. It really is, and they don't see it that way. They don't. And now that we have Teslas and electric cars, It should be getting better, but it isn't.
Mm-mm.
And I think that sure, those companies that sold those cars, they had a nice little profit tick, but the effects of it are little brown people like myself, gassing each other to death. And I can never agree with that. I think that if there's a way to fix that situation, I have to try. So if you want to look at me strangely for wearing blue lipstick, please do. But know that I am fighting for my own people. I'm fighting for white people too, because white people are being gassed to death. And that is a horrible thing because you don't even really seem to care about that. Not you. I know Clint would care about that. But people in my chat just don't see it as their problem. Pollution is real, but pollution is just not their problem.
Yeah. Which, to the person who claims that it's LARPing, no, I don't LARP. That's the last thing I ever do. In fact, I beat the snot out of LARPers most of the time. Yes, electric cars can still pollute. She is right there, man. Or they are right there.
I'm trying to get back into the comments. I stopped reading.
I just got called a wizard.
There are so many comments. I didn't even. My God, you people write a lot.
Oh,
You must
yeah.
be engaged.
The axe is actually here because I train with it and because I use it as a prop for my show. It's called Trolls Bane. I use it against internet trolls. Oh, Zeus. Okay, Leon.
It's all a
It's
simulation. Low-key, I don't disagree with you there. If you really wanted, you could live your life as if it was a choose your own adventure novel.
basically.
If you don't like something, you could walk out that door and just never come back. Choose your own adventure. Or you could stay. And if you stay, well, I guess you have to fight. And
Pretty
it
much.
turns out that, you're fighting differently. You just have to fight against ignorance.
And you see, ignorance is the enemy of all mankind. The more ignorant someone is, the more ignorant a race is, the more chances they have of causing issues for everyone else. So if we leave ourselves in a state of ignorance and continue to wallow in it, then guys, we're leading towards the movie Idiocracy in a heartbeat for us here in America. And the saddest part about this is you have all these people with all this great potential, all these people with all this incredible intelligence that can build entire murals on Roblox and Minecraft or whatever it is kids are playing nowadays. But they can build all these wonderful, amazing things on there, but they can't read. They can't read. That's my big thing. I'm more worried about what's going on in America and the world as a whole right now, guys. We've got so many tragedies going on around the world right now that could require some serious help from just simply contributing $2 a day from everybody in the world, and just choosing which one it goes to each day. Monday, this goes to this relief fund. Tuesday, this goes to this relief fund. And then that's really all you got to do. And bam, $14 a week, less than $20. You can help people out, but people don't want to try to do that. Guys, I am giving $75 to a school in Ghana. I'm going to be saving up another $75 to throw into my own charity to give to a state park, and that is just one of the many reasons why I come on here, guys. I come on here because my friend here has the same ideals, basically help the people around here. But guys, I'm starting to steadily lose faith in humanity anyway, because y'all call us the freaks. But we've got people going on to TikTok and Instagram and YouTube claiming that these children that lost their lives down here in Texas because of the massive flash floods that have been happening literally deserved it. The fuck is wrong with you people? When you think a small child deserves to drown in a terrible fucking manner because she's white, you really think a flood was caused by racism? Guys, that is the ultimate form of ignorance. That is the ultimate form of stupidity. And you sit here and call us stupid for wearing the outfits we wear. Well, so he's got his own little flair style to him. Let him be. So do I. I like my black leather. I like my armor. I like my leather vest. I like my hat. It's just these are items of clothing that I enjoy wearing. My dad can't stand it either, but it's just who I am. And who I am is a person who wants to actually take and help everyone as best I can. I don't care about me. I've got me covered. Even if it means I'm sitting in a tent and all I can afford to pay for is this cell phone so I can talk to you guys. I've got me covered. I'm more worried about everyone around me. Are you guys okay? Because there's seriously some ignorance going on around. There's a serious problem with judgment. There's a serious problem with accusations against people you don't know, and that is a very, I wouldn't say terrible, but that is a very dishonorable way of going about your life. Is if all you want to do is look upon others and judge them for who they are. You never know. This man could have pulled you out of a burning car and then you'd have been friends with him. But just because he sits up here and talks wearing blue lipstick, you want to call him a smurf fucker. Guys, damn good and well, half these dudes on here, when y'all were young, y'all thought about fucking Smurfette. Don't give me that bullshit. You fucking thought about her ass, and you probably still do from time to time. You probably even had your wife dress up in a little white dress just so you could think she's Smurfette. So kiss my ass, okay? Kiss my ass. The next thing is, so what if you guys think I'm a wizard? I don't care. I am trying to learn how to be a Gothi, which is a Viking priest. Because the only reason why I use the word Viking is because you guys don't understand what the word Norse means, because you haven't even looked up world history correctly. And you don't understand Old Norse words, because half of you people who are European don't look up your ancestry. Instead, you want to sit back and just claim, oh, well, I'm British, or oh, well, I'm this, oh, well, I'm that. But you don't care about it. You don't care about it. You walk in greater honor when you're able to start learning about your ancestry and you're able to start looking in to who you really are. And then you realize how we actually are all connected, how we have moved from so many different places, how we have come from everywhere. Most of us have got ancestry we could trace way back. Go look it up. You'll find out that we are all connected in some shape, form, or fashion. And that's why I want to help people. That's why I want to get donations through the Knights of the Holy Rose Sanctum. That's why I like to take that money, which we got a donation today. We got a $25 donation today. So, yes.
Congratulations.
But
Congratulations.
yes, $25.
Wondrous comment. I know that you're speaking the good truth and people need to listen. But I have to address wondrous comment. You donated $75. The other guy spent $75 in Sephora this morning on lip gloss. I can't afford Sephora, but if you think that this lipstick is that good, that it is Sephora level, thank you for the compliment. But I have to invest my money in starting a conversation. And as many people as it brings in to talk about Smurfs, it also brings in people to talk about pollution. It also brings in people to talk about veterans' rights. So yes, that is how I spent my money. And by the way, I bought it from Amazon. So I wish I could shop at Sephora, and I used to be able to have, the lovely people at Sephora give me guided help with my makeup and choosing things that are good for my skin tone. But I have PTSD from military sexual trauma that really narrows how I can engage with the world.
Oh, some more news. My mom's going to help me get my chainmail. It's supposed to be my birthday present, so I should be having my chainmail by
When is your birthday?
I'm just going to say November, brother.
Okay, that's good enough.
Yeah, November.
All right.
So
we'll have to have around November some sort of celebration. Hopefully, I am out of California by then.
No shit.
Because just like he just
hopefully I'm on my own way.
Yeah, I hate living in California. I really do, because I don't really live in the California that you see on television and in movies. I live in the California that is gangland. I live in the California where the air is just bad. I don't live in that dreamy California.
And yes, guys. Yeah. Yes, guys, my parents helped me out because I'm schizophrenic epileptic. I am mentally ill, and I'm not afraid to admit it, because it is part of who I am. And they do help me out because I'm only able to live off of $374 a month because I pay child support too. So there you go. That's the reason why my parents helped me for right now until I can get my business off the ground. Once I get it off the ground, then it's all good. I can afford myself at that point, which I'll be so happy. I'm so tired of living off of disability. It pisses me off. It really does.
I'm trying to read these fucking comments, but there's so many.
Oh, I know. And by the way, that was tobacco. Just so you guys know, tobacco. Now this little guy,
Travis, you know why you.
Now this little guy is different. That little guy's the good stuff.
Ebola, I'm a vet too. You have a strange name, Ebola. Yes, you chose a strange name. I'm an epidemiologist. Can I stuff my fat cock in Blue Lips' mouth? If you are Caucasian, you may. I have a clear taste for Southern gentlemen with big cocks. So yeah, if you are Caucasian, you may. Just preeped, bro on the left got a Green Lantern ring on. I think he's referring to you.
Yep. Definitely have a Green Lantern ring on. Green Lantern, Mjolnir, and Fire and Steel. Also, Yarmungandr band.
I could have guessed you lived in California.
And I live in Southeast Texas.
You guys can't even get yourselves off the ground. To speak to someone else's comment here, the government does divide people by race. It always keeps them economically oppressed. If I had my full disability benefits, I could do things with my money. I could actually open my transgender restaurant, which he talks about his forge all the time. I am very proud to have my own transgender restaurant, which I would love to open up to people and be a vendor, a seller of that, or be an engineer, spend all my time focusing on Mars exploration. I could do that with my disability benefits. I can't do that without that. Without that, it's, well, I guess I sit on YouTube with blue lipstick and I protest pollution because that's the only thing I can do. When you're disabled, you're very limited on what you can do. And there are some things that you feel are important either way. I don't have to come on YouTube to talk about pollution, but I feel like I want to. And I'm going to trust my own feeling on that. No matter how much abuse I get in the comments, I'm going to continue to talk about your health because your health matters to me. Even though you're rude, even though you're cruel, I still want you to live a healthy life. Why? Because you people fucking annoy me. And I think you'd be less annoying if you actually got oxygen to go to your brains.
Floppa or Flupa. Not trimming the beard, man. But thank you. You know, I do understand it would look a lot better, but I kind of like it like this.
Pizza Goblin, person on the left, how would you describe your style? I think maybe you're referring to me, but I consider my style more of, I guess, indigenous cyberpunk. Like, I really would be Cyberpunk 2077. I really would be in that world, that universe, because I'm huge into tech. I'm huge into like avant-garde beauty. I do like weird color palettes, like blue lipstick on a really dark-skinned person. To me, looks extremely sexy. Like I had no idea that it was going to be as beautiful as it is, but like my lips just attract your attention. Like people can't stop looking at it, and I kind of like that. So I guess that's my style. Clint, how would you describe your style?
A mixture of metalhead and Renaissance goth, more than likely. That would probably be the best way to describe mine. Because big time metalhead, love my chains and love my spikes and all that shit. But at the same time, I love my Renaissance garb and my traditional clothing and everything like that.
Bong Flopper, I think, is actually a fan of CD Projekt Red. Not gonna lie, Blue Guy Lip looks like he could be a Ripper. That is the main reasons why I joined the military, was because I was going to go to medical school, but I wanted to go to medical school after I had already learned electronics and avionics, because I had it in my head that the reason why health is suffering in this nation is because we don't have a good integration in between technology and human biology. Sometimes that means cybernetics, sometimes that just means ergonomics, like having the right screen at the right orientation, having it at eye level or higher, little things like that that can improve your health that I could learn from the military, but I I'm far off my path. But I do want to go to medical school. So if you do feel inclined to send me to medical school, please like and subscribe to my channel and go to the petition change.org/save American heroes. That petition right there is the excise tax. 1 cent, 2 cents on the dollar, so that veterans like myself can maybe make a change for the better, maybe go back to school, maybe, study by themselves, just do something with their life besides just mediocrity. Because if you're a veteran, if you're a person who went through the military, you're not a regular person, you're a hero. I think Clint is a hero, which is why I feel
Thank you.
honored every time that I share a chat with him, because he said yes to America, even though it cost him dearly. It cost you your fucking ears, dude.
Well,
Like,
one,
how much harder does your ear have to function, because that's the only one that's functioning?
pretty hard.
No wonder why you get migraines sometimes. You have to fucking strain your fucking hearing. Like you need like a radio telescope at this point. Like, good
Pretty
grief,
much.
dude.
And no, that was not crack. That was weed, but it was not crack. But I have a license for it. I'm an epileptic.
Cheers from Alaska.
Yes,
Welcome,
hello,
ready to
Alaska.
survive. And cheers back to you. How exactly is it in your world where maybe you actually get to experience that fresh air that I dream of?
Gandalf's getting cracked out.
I have to think that's kind of funny. I mean, I'm not really actually kind of sad about that. But y'all dressed funky. Salute military, but y'all dressed funky. Hey,
Yes.
we're two people who grew up in uniforms. So naturally, what we decide to do is wear our uniform now. That's
Yeah,
his
basically.
uniform. This is mine.
You were in Harry Potter. I get that a lot.
You do give
That
off a
or,
little Hagrid vibe.
and the
Care
sad
for
part is I
magical
work with
creatures.
animals.
Care for magical creatures.
I was about to say I do take care of animals very well.
You saw Megadeth? Oh my god. VIP tickets.
Nice.
That is nice.
Megadeth's fucking awesome. I love Megadeth.
You ain't
Couldn't
no
really name one of their songs, but I know them when I hear them.
You ain't
Huh?
no American veteran. Who the fuck says who's an American and who isn't? Because I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. If you accept Hollywood's white people are American military sort of thing because that's who they cast as the hero, then maybe that's just you. But the military is multi-ethnic. The military is multinational. Why? Because
Oh yeah.
in the South, they may say everybody wants to join in the military, but in the East, where I grew up, nobody wants to join. Why? Because they're dialed into the world around them and they don't have to think about reality. Like you could live in New York and still not think about terrorism. That's how New Yorkers get through each day. They don't think about it. They keep it in their heads. They maybe think about it every once in a while, but they don't really want to fight it. I wanted to fight it. I
And
lived
guys,
during 9/11.
I didn't make it through basic. I tried, but he still considers me a hero for it anyway because I tried. But I got injured really badly in basic training and had to come home. But I was in Fort Sill, Oklahoma. I was a 13 Bravo cannon crewman, 2nd Platoon Bulldog, 1st Battalion War Eagle.
Clint, no way I found you like a few seconds ago scrolling on live shorts. What's up, guys? Hello, Louise.
Hello,
Hello.
my Louise. Welcome in, my friend. You know, that's Louise. She's from Scotland. She's absolutely awesome. But yeah, welcome in, Louise. That's
I
kind
was
of cool.
105th Airlift Wing in Newburgh, New York. So that's where I'm from.
Yep. But yes, how you doing?
Liminal Golf. Hi. Thank you for coming in today. I am getting through. I just injured myself, but I will probably be recovered by tomorrow, fully recovered. I had to use a cane for like a few hours, but now I'm walking normally, but still have to remember to march in order to protect my legs from now on. You'll both have
Th-
cool outfits. Thank you so much.
yeah, thank you.
It's very nice.
Yeah, thank you so
There's
much.
some love in the chat. There is, y'all have OnlyFans? Well, I'll start one if this one does.
Nope, 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 nope. I won't make
Come
no
on,
money.
Clint, you
Nope,
show
nope,
those
nope,
big Texan toes on camera for
nope,
dollars.
nope,
Do that for the
nope,
dollars.
nope. I got more respect for myself.
They wouldn't even tell me whether or not I was just too ugly. I did apply for them, but yeah, they just said no.
Just no.
And I was just like, could you tell me why? Because I need money. Like, I want to show my toes on camera, my horrible gnarled 6 toes that I have.
Mental hospitals are in great demand, as y'all can see. Yes, I've been to a mental hospital twice. I'm schizophrenic epileptic, so I go to them at least once a year.
Hagrid is a boss. I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to call you from now, and it is meant with the utmost respect. That is good to hear.
Thank you, then. Thank you, then. But yeah, I do deal with quite a bit of issues from my mental illness, but which is caused from brain damage. But other than that, you know, I make it work. You know, I make it work, which I actually kind of enjoy the fact now that I do actually have my schizophrenia because it fuels my creativity for things like my art. Let's get the big one.
We always like to see your artwork. Show us your artwork. It's show and tell with Clint.
This is one of the newest ones I'm working on here. Where is the picture? There it is.
Ooh, that is pretty. That is pretty. That is pretty.
It's the Heartbroken.
I definitely want that one. Oh my god, yes. That is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you. This is one of the things I see. Huh?
Thank you so much for sharing.
No problem. You can even see the souls trapped in his robes. So I'm trying to get as much detail in it as possible. But yeah, that's the latest one I'm working on. Yeah. Mm. But it's actually been over an hour, man. I gotta go. It's training time. I gotta go fit the rest of the.
Thank you so much. And if you like following this wonderful wizard, this wonderful leather crafter, Clint, there's a link to his channel in my description. Like and subscribe, Clint. It's a link in my channel. Thank you so much for coming, Clint. I appreciate you.
Oh, no problem, Ian. Thank you so much for the good conversation. Which, by the way, everybody, remember, love your mama, love your papa, love yourself, be kind, and always find a way to help everybody. See it from a swamp, later from a gator.
It's like you can try to have a conversation with these people, it just doesn't really go that far. Thank you, Louise. Thank you so much for coming by. And thank you, Ready, Set, Survive, for uplifting the spirit for Clint and myself. It's rough. It really is. You know, I really wanted to be part of the military for longer. I saw a place for myself there, but if I'm being honest, now that I'm out, I just live a very, very different life. Oh, that's a facsimile of my ancestor. I like to think that my ancestor's always looking out for me, so I put my ancestor there. Ready, Set, Survive. I joke with Clint. He's such a nice person. He likes a good joke every now and then. But anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for coming by. I appreciate you. Please come to the next one. Like and subscribe. And please consider some of the petitions that are in the descriptions. I'm Native American, and this is a representation of my Native American ancestor. I kind of like it, you know. It gives me peace to know that this is who I was in another life. Alaska is twice the size of Texas. I don't know. I may actually have to come visit there. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm going to call it for the day. I appreciate all of you for joining me. I will see you all on the next podcast.